Hey guys, Lawrence here from Unicorn Reviews with a brand new video. Today we're looking at the fourth iteration of the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro CPU coolers. Now, I've tested every single one in between, the original C1 and now this one. I've really noticed a lot of progression on Be Quiet's end, and that's what we're going to talk about today, along with performance numbers. Now, for those who can't really wait for the performance numbers, I'm crypto mining with the system behind me, fans full speed, you can't hear it, and the system's running really cool. So if that's all you wanted to know, then there you go. For everyone else, let's start with a quick physical overview. So Be Quiet changed the top plate. It used to be a different design, a lot flatter. Now it's, stamped. I don't really personally know if I prefer the new top plate or not, but it does come with a few really neat features that we'll see in just a bit. First up though, it's all black. Really lovely. It's an aluminium heatsink, 7 6mm heat pipes, and they're really nicely spread in a U shape as you usually get with twin tower coolers. The front fan is 120mm and the middle fan is 135, so that's not really a standard fan size, but they also use that for their power supplies. Overall though, the fan performance, I've tested the Silentwings 3 fans. You can find a full review if you click the card right now. But they're really good fans, and so that really shows with both noise levels and cooling performance. But what's more interesting is the fin design. So not all the fins have the same shape. There's quite, some changes to that. They're not just usual rectangles, there are quite a few more angles to them. And there's also a lot of dimples to these new fins. We're going to talk about the installation procedure first though, because big air coolers can be a little bit tricky, and to this day no one has done it quite as well as Noctua has. Be Quiet comes close now. They've improved an awful lot over their previous models. It's actually a one-man job now. So it's fairly simple. You just use, with AM4 at least, the standard backplate, and then you have the two brackets, bridge over top. And then what's really nice is they include a really long screwdriver, and you can remove two caps on the top plate, and then the screwdriver goes through all the way. In theory, this works great, but you do have to wedge the little screw from the side. So on the top half of your case, there's not really a lot of room here to put your hand in between to hold the screw. So it's still a little bit finicky, and I wish they would have just gone with self-retaining screws like Noctua has on their brackets. They haven't done that yet. Perhaps that's for the Dark Rock Pro 5. I don't know, but it's already a lot improved. You can install one of these in about 15 minutes if it's your first time. A small gripe I have with the fan installation is the brackets. So these are just straight brackets and they don't have a little latch to hook them over the heatsink. Noctua does have those little latches, and it makes installation of a fan a lot easier, especially with big coolers where you have to wedge your hand in, or some pliers in some cases when there's not enough space. So they should really add a little latch to the fan bracket, but that's about the only thing I can really complain about. Now, cooling performance mostly depends on the sheer amount of surface area. That's why the bigger coolers will usually perform better. But if you look at the Dark Rock Pro 4, you can see that it's actually about the same size as a Noctua NH-D14, slightly smaller than the D15. And surface area is also quite similar to what you would get on a 280mm all-in-one liquid cooler. So then, moving on to performance, Be Quiet rates this cooler at a TDP of 250 watts, so I did my best to put out as much heat as possible. So the system behind me right here is an AM4 system, so it's a Ryzen 1700, and it's running at 1.45 volts, which is a lot of volts. So that gives me 4 gigahertz flat. And as you can see, we're still mining and it didn't crash yet, so it's stable. Exact power output, I have no idea about, but it was the same for all the coolers. So I retested all of them because I lost my database. Anyway, performance numbers. At full load, which is in my opinion the only thing really worth testing, I don't really care about idle temperatures as they're obviously low enough anyway. So at full load, with this cooler, what we can see compared to something bigger like the D15 is it's 1 to 2 degrees hotter depending on how you round off the numbers. Now that's really impressive to me, especially because once we move on to our noise levels, it's 3 decibels quieter than a D15, which is already a really quiet cooler. To conclude the video then, the Dark Rock Pro 4 has improved an awful lot over previous iterations. It's still about the same price, but the looks have improved a little bit, and so has the installation procedure. So it's now a one-man job. It's easy enough so anyone can do it. However, I would like to see self-retaining screws and a little latch on the fan bracket to make it even easier. Performance, really good, best in class, not quite 2 degrees hotter than the competition. However, it is 3 decibels quieter. So there you go, what you buy depends on, do you want ultimate silence or ultimate performance? Do you care about those 2 degrees Celsius? Let me know in the comments if you do. For now though, massive thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and click some of those buttons and thingies in the, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter.